see. I if you were to want to give me an offer right now, how much would it be? Just out of curiosity.
Well, to be completely honest with you, Joshua, it would not be a cash offer. Because strictly because I'm trying to get to that 20,000 mark just for the vehicle and just for the relocation and everything. And if I were to come in cash, I would not even be close to 10,000. And so this offer that I'm trying to come up with is it's a creative offer. And so that way we're able to cash you out from at least a little bit of maybe the little bit of equity that you built up, and so that way you would be able to be on your feet. But if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Joshua, any investor coming in on cash is not gonna be anywhere near the 10,000, 15, 20 mark that you're looking for.
Right.
Yeah. Is that what you've been hearing from other investors? I'm assuming.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I did get an offer a couple days ago for 15,000 to walk out the door,
Okay.
basically. Um, and that's cash offer.
Okay.
You know, um, that's again. I want to be able to have something in my pocket to
Yeah.
where I'm able to, you know. But again, is that going directly towards me, or is that going to be split up? I guess is another option or another question as well too.
What do you mean split up?
Because I have my mother and mother-in-law.
On title with you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, most definitely would be split up. Cause even I'm really trying to get to that 20,000 marker because I remember you need the vehicle and you want the other side of the family to go to Lakeland and you want to go to Kissimmee. So, even at 20,000, I'm pushing it. So,
Well, if it's less than that, that's fine. I mean, as long as I'm able to walk, breathe. That's basically all I'm asking for.
yeah, of course.
But for the cash offer, what would it be? Because right now, walking out with 300, like if I
Did
was
you
to
run
get
your
offered
numbers?
300,000, doesn't really leave me with any walking room. If it's like 305,000, maybe just a little bit.
Repeat that again for me, Joshua.
So if I was to ask for 305,000, it gives me a little bit of a breathing room, but not as much as I would want it to be.
Okay.
If it's 300, if you go up like maybe 300 to like 308,000, it will give me a decent breathing room and a month and a half, or at least a month. Um, I would say close to a month and a half to get everything situated.
Okay. Hold on. I'm doing some math right now. Bear with me.
Because right now, at this point, I'm looking for the best offer. I'm asking for an offer, and I want to wipe my hands clean with it.
Yeah. Um,
Right, my smoke detector is tripping right now, so if you
okay.
hear me, I do apologize.
Okay. So right now what I have, Joshua, is I'm adding the payoff because you told me your payoff was 227,000, correct?
Yeah,
And the rears were 62,000.
yeah.
Okay, so that would leave us at 289. And you said the okay, let me think. That at a cash offer, I would be somewhere around there where you said where the I would honestly be around the 300,000 flat, and that would be with you walking away with 10K if all the numbers that you gave me as far as the rears and the payoff, those are exact to the date, and we pay off the rears, and I put 10,000 in your pocket. That would leave you with 300,000. That would be our purchase price is 300,000 flat. But Joshua, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I would wait to hear out the creative offer because I was drawing it up before you sent me a message. I would wait to hear the creative offer because I'm making this offer specifically based off what you wanted, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
total sense.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what I'm asking for. Like, and that 10,000, it doesn't really help the situation.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I would wait for the creative offer. It would be a more realistic, reasonable, and better offer for the long term, if you ask me.
Yeah, of course.
Alright.
Um, and then that would definitely put some money in my pocket for what I need.
Yeah, of
Give
course.
me enough time, and I can get the place, where I would like to, move to, and my wife potentially. So
Yeah. So, do you want to let me finish drawing up the offer, and you want me to call you back today, or you still want me to call you tomorrow? What do we do?
if you could tomorrow, I was just thinking about that offer, and I just wanted to, see what you would say about it.
Were
But
you
of course,
were you curious
I
because
am
you just
I
got
am
a call
always
from
open
these other
to,
investors and they're ready to go? Because it sounds like that's
things.
what's going on. Yeah, I was about yeah. So let me ask you, Joshua,
Yes.
are you giving me a call because there's other investors calling you and offering you and you're trying to decide who you want to go with or
I have received a phone call. It's like I was telling you, the other investor that I had, he actually showed up to my house, knocked on my door to talk to me.
okay.
He offered me the 15,000 cash, and then I just simply just said no, thank you, and that was just like more so like, and then wasn't even giving me enough time
Oh,
to
okay.
get stuff. He basically wanted to come check out the house. As when I opened up the door, he tried to push it open a little bit more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then just to kind of scout it out.
Yeah, yeah.
And he, basically said, "I'll give you 15 cash, or 300,000 cash with 1,500, walking out with." I was like, okay, well, it's not really. No, not 1,500. Yeah, 1,500 is what I would be walking out with, and that's uh, not even like that's like 700 in my pocket. Not even walking out with anything.
Oh. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I wasn't, and he was like, and I'll give you until the end of the month.
Yeah, no. How do you feel about that? Where's your headspace on that?
I was, a little appalled.
Yeah,
And the
no.
fact that he came to my house, like, yes, I still reside in it. Yes, it's still my property until further notice. But don't come in trying to barge in and to scout out the property. I get a lot of people coming over here taking pictures and everything and seeing the outside of it. I just got the yard taken care of yesterday. And, so they're going to be having pictures that are not updated.
Yeah. No, no. If you ask me, that was a bit disrespectful from the investor side.
Well, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, I'm trying to do whatever I can.
Yeah.
I'm not really, I am weighing options here of what to do, besides like the investor side. So like I'm, thinking about doing, other options, but I want to see if there is going to be a different cash offer than what I was offered.
As far as far as cash, I don't think so, and that's because you've only lived there close to 4 to 5 years, and typically the way that works is when you buy a home, you have to pay um, up until the up until the first 10 years is only interest payment, and so once you eat into that 11th year, that's when you start building the equity, and so people coming in on a cash offer for yeah no it's just not right. You haven't built. To say 10, 15, or 20,000 in equity, so that's why they're coming in at you at such a low price.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's what I'm gonna do though, Joshua. I'm gonna draw up the offer
Okay.
and I'm gonna present it to you and
Okay.
call you tomorrow.
And then with this offer, even though if it is not it's not a cash offer, when would the payment happen? Like when I would be moving out, or
on closing. Yeah. Well, since we're gonna do a lease back, right? Because we're gonna give you more time so you can get everything situated. Right. We'll probably give you half before half at closing, and then once you move out, we'll give you the other half.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, all right.
Any questions for me?
Because that's where I was kind of like, because this has never happened to me before, so I'm kind of like going in.
Why can't you call him back today? Why does he have to be tomorrow?
I don't know. You might ask. You might ask.
So
yeah, just tell him, hey, I'm here with the whole team. We're going over it. Literally before you called me, I was working on it. How about I just call you today? And by the way, you never want to tell the seller cash offer is not enough. I'll put it in front of you and show you the difference between the cash offer and the.
That was my thought about it.
Gotcha.
Because, like I said, this is my first time having to deal with this type of thing.
Yeah. Well, hey Joshua, why don't I have the whole team here, and before you called me, I was already drawing up the offer. Why don't I just finish drawing up the offer and I'll call you and you see if it's something you like, and if it's not, then we both go our ways, and that way we're not wasting each other's time.
Right.
Sound good?
It sounds good.
Alrighty. So I'm gonna draw up this offer and I'm gonna give you a call back like an hour 30.
Okay.
Alrighty, Joshua. I'm gonna be talking to you soon.
Alright, talk to you soon.
Alrighty.
Okay. So the guy called you back. The reason he called you back, you already know, is because somebody came to his door. Mm-hmm. Did you warn him about other investors and talk to him about how to vet people to even know if they're legit?
No, I said that right there.
Exactly. So like, hey, this is probably some fly-by-night investor, and we call them not talking trash about wholesalers, but at the same time talking about trash about wholesalers. It's like if you're playing soccer, I don't care if you're playing against Ronaldo, you're gonna talk trash about him. It is what it is, right? Yeah. It's a competition. You won the deal. So like, hey, this is probably another fly-by-night investor. We call them wholesalers. Do you know what wholesaler is? Explain what it is. So typically they'll come to you. If he offers you that tells me he don't know his numbers. Because I'm not understanding how he's justifying these numbers. Your house is worth $325 and he's offering him how much?
Told him, I don't even know, but what I did pick up on is he only said $1,500 to walk away with.
Okay, so that right there, Daniel, you don't want to do that. So when you don't know something, clarify it. You need to know. He offered you how much? Okay, he offered you 10. Okay, great. You say you owed how much? Okay, so basically if I add all of it up, he offered you X. Am I right? You see what I mean? Like confirm, because now you're not sure. You see what, like confirm with the seller, have the seller walk with you so that for you to even understand if the seller even understand what offer is being made to him. Because he might not have made sense of it in his head himself. Oh, okay, so your house is worth $320, and based on what they offered you $300 or $305, right? So he said he's gonna give you 10, and you owe X. With the arrears, all of that combined, do you agree with me, is $305? Is that what you're saying? That's what they offered you? Yeah, sounds about right. Okay. Now see if it's an offer that, if it doesn't make sense, now you can explain to him why it doesn't make sense. If the house is worth $325, somebody offered even at $300, how would an investor justify buying this house at $300?
They wouldn't.
Exactly. So why wouldn't they?
Because it says the refi rule.
Right. So you gotta explain that to the seller so that so the seller is educated. Hey, here is why that doesn't make sense. So he's probably a fly-by-night investor, learn real estate on YouTube, and he's gonna shop the contract around and try to sell it. It's not gonna work out. He's gonna come back to you. I've seen it over and over again. So next time you wanna ask them this and this and this. Now, the guy called you, let him talk. So he called you, he's like, hey, what is that? So tell me, what is that cash offer? Directly, you're like, well, to be honest with you, no. It's like, well, I was working on it right now as you're calling me. What is there anything new? What's going on? Tell me what. because he's calling you with a new information. Let him talk. Let him give you all the bullets you need first before you say anything. You know? And by the way, you never want to discount a cash offer. A cash offer is always an option, but it might not be an option that is good for the seller, but it's always an option. So hey, here is option A, here is option B. Option A, if I make you a cash offer, this is where I'm gonna be based on X, but you will have to bring money to the table, and here is why. And I'm sure you don't want that, right? Okay, boom. So here is plan B. This is the option B. Has anybody presented you with a creative finance offer? Did you ask him that question?
No.
Okay. Has anybody presented you with a creative finance? Okay. Are you familiar at all with creative finance? No. Then you know you're talking to somebody who's not even closely familiar with it. So you don't want to be technical. You don't want to use technical terms. Now this might happen on multiple calls, but him calling you is an occasion to let him talk and give you all the bullets you need from against the other investors, and then against him too. But you don't want to say, oh, I'm not gonna make you a cash offer. Make him the cash offer, just at the end confirm to him why that's not a good option, if that makes sense. Then let him disqualify it with you. Oh, now I see, now I understand why it doesn't make sense. You're right, I don't want to write a check to sell my house. Okay, you might, if you want, you even want to discount the listing part. There is another option too. You could list it, but if you list it, this is what it looks like. You owe X. If you list it, commissions, do you know how to deduct the commissions, all of that?
The 3% and all that?
Yeah, basically you can deduct 8%.
Yeah, 2 and 6.
Yeah, 8% plus all the probably things that are unexpected, miscellaneous, whatever, and then what he owes, and then how much is he left with. Go through that math with him. So plus the timeline. If you list it, obviously they're gonna need the house. They're gonna need you probably to vacate, so they won't be able to do a lease back with you. Because if you list it as a homestead buyer, that's gonna buy it. So you're probably gonna have to move out earlier than you want to, right? And then on top of that, the timeline is gonna take a little bit longer, because the homestead buyer have to do what? Go through the financing, all those things. There's no speed in there. Here you need speed. But you see how the timeline would make sense, the numbers would make sense. The other investors, you need to warn him against it. But first, let him tell you who called him, why. He told you to at the end, but he could have done that right when he called you. That's what you should have directly said. Oh, I was actually working on it. What's new? Do you have any new information for me, or did you get a call from an investor? Because you can tell he's calling you because somebody probably called him.
Yeah, of course.
So boom, then you hear the story. Then you're like, oh shit, you know what? I didn't address the other investors when I talked to him. Now is the occasion. And then you go into the why you bringing him. You don't have to give him the options right there. You can always, I'm going to come back with the 2 options, and you'll see why I'm coming back to you with the 2 options. I'm going to present you the cash offer, let you know what that looks like. If you don't like that, then the second option is the creative finance. And here is why I think the cash offer wouldn't make sense. Justify it with the numbers. I'm assuming you're saying it doesn't make sense because of the equity. There's not a lot of equity, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Explain that. What that means even. There's not a lot of equity. You see what I mean? But you always want to present it. Let them disqualify it with you. I don't want to write a $5,000 check to sell my home. All right? Let him do most of the talk. The guy want to talk. Let him talk, give you all the information you need. But I think you need to inform the guy a little bit more. He seems to not be informed. Like somebody come to your door, offered you, like, it's weird. Do they know their numbers? Is it an investor? Did they give you their company name? Do you know, like, educate the guy. So that next time somebody knocks on his door, guess what he does? He's going to ask all those questions. Right? So that's what I would have done on this one. I would let him talk a little bit more. But that's a great call. I think we need to literally listen to it and pause it and go over everything. But it seems like it's a creative all day long. You don't want to come to people and just offer them creative. I never do that. I offer both. Because people like options.
Alrighty.
So what you were waiting on Andrew to work on the numbers on this? By the way, you need to find out where you would be on cash.
That can be right?
Yeah, you can if you want. He told you the condition. He gave you detailed condition. I mean, he lives in it, so it must be livable at least.
It's a 2019 bill, so I'm assuming it can't be.
There you go, 2019. Okay.